Good Monday. I'm Chris Fote. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Let's get started. Sharona.
Good morning. Today we have a very lively gentleman with us. He's an extremely talented guy. He does a lot of things, and he's also a soccer player. At this age, he's a little bit older than me, but still he's like quick on the draw, always fast, and embarrasses me all the time.
That's not true.
So here we have Jolt Bellavance. Joe, tell us what do you do?
One of the things I do is I bake part-time for Joseph DeQuee's, which is a local high-end restaurant. They are won numerous awards and recently served dinner at the James Beard House in Manhattan. And I don't know if you know anything about the James Beard House, but it's kind of like the epicenter of the American culinary experience. They invite guest chefs in to bake for their, or cook for their customers and members, and it's considered a high honor to be able to cook there. And I accompanied them this summer and was able to bake and serve my bread at the James Beard House, which is pretty good for a hack baker like me.
That's fantastic.
So thank you.
And I eat your bread all the time then, because I did Joseph DeQuee's.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
And another thing is, like, you have this bread kit, and I hear from people that it's literally impossible to make artisan bread, but you have some kind of trick. Or like
yeah, it's not really a trick. What I've done is I've taken what I do at the restaurant and I put it in a box, and it's a completely self-contained unit, and it contains everything that you need to bake this bread right out of the box. So it contains kitchenwares and ingredients and techniques. I divulge everything I know. Which is
great. I need one of those for Christmas.
You need lots of those for Christmas. And I divulge everything I know. I tell you all the techniques that I use, and include a lot of photographs and detailed instructions. There are ingredients in there for 3 loaves, but you don't have to buy ingredients from me. And one of my goals is to make this very simple and inexpensive for people. So you can just go to any grocery store and get a good bag of flour and make this stuff for yourself for about 80 cents a loaf. So, and yes, virtually foolproof. Wow. Even I can't screw it up, which is pretty amazing.
How did you start?
I love bread.
Okay, good.
That's really it. I tried for years and years to bake a good, crusty, moist loaf of bread, and I failed time and time again. And one of the things that you learn as you try to bake good bread is that steam is really important to getting a good crust. So, people advise you to try spritzing the loaf with water or putting a little dish of water in the oven to, this is at home, okay? Professional bakers have these really fancy steam-injected ovens, right? They're expensive. Nobody has one of those at home, right? So that's why it's so hard to get a good loaf at home. So one of the things that I've done is I include with the kit, as part of the kitchenwares, a covered stock pot, basically. It's inexpensive, it's lightweight, it's durable, it cools off quickly, so I think it's safer. And what happens is you put the loaf, the dough, in the pot, you cover the pot, and then you bake it. And what happens is that as the water escapes from the dough, it's trapped by the cover, so it steams itself. And that's where the crust comes from. So it's very easy to create this type of bread at home. The other key component of the technique is that it's a no-knead recipe, and I'm really lazy, so no-knead works for me. The less work, the better. So you mix up the dough, it takes 5 minutes. You let it rise for 18 to 24 hours, and the time is what imparts the flavor in the crust, part of the flavor in the crust to the bread. And then it takes 5 minutes to shape, and you bake it.
So you make the cranberry bread and everything for...
I do not make the cranberry bread. They get that from a bakery in Canada, and that's really tasty bread. Yeah. I don't blame them. I like that stuff.
Well, this is Monday Morning Jolt. This is the name of the program. So one of the things we want to know is, how do you start your Mondays? How do you start your week?
How do I start?
It may not be your work week, because your work week might be different than others.
Well, it probably runs counter to the profession, but I'm not a morning person at all.
Bakers!
I know! I know! In theory I should be up at 3 a.m. time to make the donuts.
That's right.
But I'm not. So I usually when I have an order from DeQuee's, I try to, I get in there early and get going. I, at one point, baked daily for them. I've kind of switched over to par baking, which is kind of shorthand for partial baking. And what that allows me to do is to bake a larger number of loaves at once. And people can do this at home with the bread kit as well. They can par bake a number of loaves and kind of get it all out of the way. So you bake your bread to about 80% completion, and you take it out, cool it off, freeze it. Okay, and when you're ready for it, you take it back out and bake it off the remaining 20% of the way, so you have fresh, basically fresh bread. So people can do that at home as well.
So you're not a morning person.
No.
So what do you have any rituals on Monday to get your, do you have any advice?
I have a lot of coffee.
Okay,
At least 40 ounces. No.
I think a lot of people kickstart their Mondays with coffee.
Yeah. No, basically it's like anybody else. You know, what gets you out of bed in the morning? And for me, it's the opportunity to kind of share what I'm doing here with people and allow them. One of the things that I love about bread is that it really brings people together. I mean, it's such a staple of Western culture, or the Western kitchen, that people look at it and say, "Oh my gosh, let's have some bread."
I know. I'm dying here with the sitting here.
Well, if you'd like, we could just cut into this, and I'll show you how crusty it is.
Break a bed or something.
I don't want to get your finger, okay? This is not a knife, it's a saw.
Yeah.
I love that crusty outside.
So
while we're doing it,
the crumb here is a little tight. You can see how it's a little uneven, which is what I want. I want some more, open holes.
While we're doing this, Joe, like, what kind of advice can you give other businesses who starts up, or like, what kind of things that you have figured out that might be useful for them?
Like most people, follow your passion, do what you love. I'm not in this because you can make a lot of money selling a loaf of bread. I'm in it because I love good bread. And I'm kind of a teacher and coach by nature, so I like helping people succeed, and it's one of the things that I'm trying to do. So follow your passion.
And then this is kind of an offbeat question. You kind of answered how you live your life, but added you would do something you're passionate about. Do you have something that guides your actions throughout your life, and an adage or something you live by?
If you're going to do something, do it well.
That's great.
If it's not worth doing, don't do it at all. But if you're going to do it, do it well. There's no sense in doing something at only 80% of your capacity.
That bread smells wonderful, by the way.
Would you like to try some?
Yeah, I'll make some for you.
Well, you have olive oil too,
And then,
if you like.
This is another sort of odd question, probably, is superpower. If you could choose any superpower, and you don't have to stick with the standard ones, you can pick anything that you can possibly dream of.
Oh, that's easy.
What's that?
I'd like to be the wisest person.
Oh, that's really good.
That's good.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. It's fun to think about flying all around and being really strong. That's what my boys want.
Some people see read minds, and I think that would be kind of messy.
Yeah, that would be. No, I think wisdom would be a good one to have.
All right, and then.
What is something that people don't know about you? I know you are like an open book kind of guy, you're always out there, but what's something that...
Everybody's got a secret.
Yeah.
Well, I have lots of secrets, I'm just not going to share most of them. I love language.
Really? Do you speak a language?
No, not foreign language. I love the English language, I love
okay.
literature, I love reading, I love well-constructed sentences, as pathetic as that might sound. I love descriptive language, I love short language, I love illustrative language.
Nice.
So, we would like to thank Joe for coming and joining us today.
And bringing us bread.
Bringing us bread. And I would strongly recommend anybody who listens to this show to buy his kit, because it's an exceptional value. I know I will be buying a kit soon. It's a fairly easy thing, and the value that you get for what you pay is incredible. And I would like to thank you for listening. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Use it.